How long after submitting a EAD and AP renewal application for it to be approved? I also submitted it to be expedited 2 weeks ago and submitted the I-45 and I-131 at the end of March because EAD and AP expires in August. Wait, if you filed the I-45, you mean the I-765 and I-131 at the end of March? Well, first of all, your work permit on a renewal will most likely not be expedited because by law, when you go to renew your work permit, it gets an automatic extension for 180 days past August. So you will be work authorized at least through February or March of next year. Now, as far as advanced parole, the only time that they are going to expedite advanced parole is if there's a death in the family, and you would need to submit a death certificate and show that it is a close family member. Sometimes they will expedite it too if you have a very important business meeting, but other than that, you're going to have a hard time getting advanced parole expedited. Brad, can I pay my mom's visa fees online with a credit card? Yes, you can. Can a green card holder file an adjustment of status for an out-of-status spouse concerning that their I-130 has been approved and priority date is current? No. Only a spouse who is married to a permanent resident who is in legal status can file an adjustment. If the spouse is out of status, then you would have to wait for, I don't know if you're the one, whoever the permanent resident is, to become a citizen of the United States. So once the spouse falls out of status, you can't adjust based on marriage to a permanent resident, unless, of course, that person is 245I. Denisha Joseph with a question. What's the next step after receiving an I-79C to create online account? The LPR is filing for the spouse overseas and the category is current. It is still a long wait time. I'm asking for myself. The 797C is generally receipt notices from immigration. So I think you're going to have to wait a little bit until you get the I-130 approved. My husband put in his citizenship from last year, August 25th until now, still waiting for an interview. Yeah, it's going to be at least probably another 3 or 4 months. They're very backed up because I didn't do any citizenship interviews for the last few months. I petitioned for my mom in Jamaica. She went to Trinidad and spent 5 years. I have sent all the documents needed except for the police report from Trinidad. I've been trying to get this report for a couple of months now and unable to do. Do you think I can go ahead and send the Jamaica police report and leave Trinidad? No. You have to be able to show a police report from every jurisdiction you lived in from the age of 16 on, if you lived there for more than 6 months. Since you lived there for 5 years, you have to get the police report from Trinidad. If you're still having a problem, give me a call, get on my list. It's 1-800-529-5465. You hear that USCIS is having a cash problem and seeking a bailout from the government. They're saying it's because of low application and the new laws. Yes, we talked about that today. If you married and second time, and when you were going for your second interview, does immigration ask about your first marriage and they need proof of the first marriage? They will ask about the marriage if that first husband filed for you. Then they're going to want proof that at least the first marriage and the second marriage is legit. So you could be asked about both marriages. If it was a situation where the first husband did not file for you, then they're just going to want to know where's the divorce decree so that you were clear to get married a second time. For those who resettled in the U.S.A. from another country, after how many days or months will they get a green card? Well, if you paid the fee online, it should take about 8 weeks. Is it true that if you get a denial, USCIS is extending the date to reply 60 days from the date you were supposed to originally reply? I need to file an I-290. The 60-day extension is only for a request for further evidence, which is an RFE, or a notice of intent to deny, which is a NOID. You still only have the 30 days on a denial if you need to appeal. If you've lost your case and you need to appeal, I think now is the time that you need to call me at 1-800-529-5465. And if you get a combo card, how long should you travel out of the country if you have a pending VAWA case? Adjustment was filed as well. It says you can stay out indefinitely as long as you come back before before your green card interview. But quite frankly, if you stay out for more than 4 weeks, they can give you a big hard time at the airport. It's supposed to be for short trips. So once your trip goes over 4 weeks, it's no longer a short trip. Uncle Brad, I have a question for you. Okay. Can I petition my family and son, including my parents, to come to the U.S. and then proceed their documents to become resident here in the United States? You cannot petition. You can petition them, but you can't. You're either filing an I-130 visa petition for them, and they're going to get their green cards abroad, or they're going to come here on a non-immigrant visa, and then if they are eligible to adjust and they don't commit a misrepresentation, perhaps adjust. I think, Pradeep, that you need a consultation because your question doesn't necessarily make 100% sense to me. U.S.A. granted asylum, went on third country, married a fiance, all done, spouse waiting for the interview abroad. Is it good enough proof to interview? They went one time to the third country, married, and met only one time. I think meeting one time and getting married at that one particular time, there could be a question about whether there's a valid marriage or not. But certainly if you can prove a relationship and you're texting each other and sending money for support and everything else, then that could go a long way to proving that it's a real marriage. Hi, my wife and I should be doing an interview soon because of her military deployment. However, she said after the interview, I'll have to move out if I get through. I will get a 2-year green card. Well, that's not good. She's already ending the marriage before you already got an interview for your green card. I think you need a consultation, George. Hi, Brad. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and you did an adjustment of status and a biometric in November 2019, how long is the wait for WP and work permit, WP, work permit, and social security number? And if you haven't received it yet, what should you do? If you filed the adjustment in 2019 and you didn't get any RFE, the work permit takes about 6 months. If you haven't gotten it yet, we're now in May, and you filed in November, you're at about the 7-month mark. Maybe you need the help of a lawyer, make sure you're doing everything right. I got married and filed the I-130 and got the notice with priority date for November 2019. And now I checked the processing time and they're working October 23, 2019. Any idea what I'm going to hear from USCIS? Well, if they're up to October 23rd, 2019 and you're November 21st, 2019, you figure another 2 to 4 weeks. My friend's marriage-based case was scheduled for an interview in April. USCIS canceled because of Corona. Then 2 weeks after she got a denial letter, what can she do? I don't know why she got the denial letter. So if she got a denial letter and it was an error, perhaps a motion to reopen. If it was a denial letter and she did something wrong, then we got to refile again. She needs to have a consultation with me. A child who is a U.S. citizen wants to file for a parent who is living in Jamaica. What are the forms needed to be completed and what is the total cost? Well, there's a $535 filing fee. It's an I-130 visa petition. The U.S. citizen has to be over the age of 21. When I get a green card holder petitions for a spouse and it's approved by the USCIS, how much longer does the filing take after the approval? Shouldn't take more than 6 months if you do everything right at the National Visa Center because priority dates are current. For VAWA cases, should you file an I-45 with the I-765? Absolutely you should, because other than that, it'll take you 2 years to get a work permit. Brad, my sister went for a green card interview 7 months ago. No decision yet. My employment authorization is about to expire in November. I want to know they're going to renew it for me, even no decision yet. Yes, and you need to file for the work permit renewal about 3 months beforehand. And even if they don't give you a work permit renewal by that date, your work permit is automatically extended 180 days past the expiration of your work permit. So you'll be okay. Kevin Hunt, I live in Jamaica. I don't have a criminal record, but I pled guilty to unlawful wounding. The case was dismissed. What should I answer at my immigrant visa interview? If you have a criminal record because you got arrested for an unlawful wounding, you say the case was dismissed, but you pled guilty. If you pled guilty, and a sentence was imposed, then that is a conviction for immigration, even if the judge dismissed the charges years later on some sort of expungement. You have to bring a police report and you have to tell the truth. And if it makes you inadmissible, you're going to need a waiver. And it sounds like you need a lawyer. The worst thing in the world to do is lie about it because the government's going to know about it. And once you lie about it, then you are effed. I'm trying to get my travel history online, but I'm not getting through. Is there an alternative way to get it? You can do a FOIA. But you should be able to, I assume that the website will be up shortly. I didn't look at it today. I didn't know it was down, but, you should be able to do it on the website. But if you're having trouble, give me a call, but you can also do it as a FOIA. Mickey Bush. Hi, Brad. My mother is a green card holder. She passes due for her citizenship, but she can't read and write. So what is the best way to handle this, please? Well, if she's over the age of 55 and she's had a green card for more than 15 years, she doesn't have to read and write. If that doesn't apply to her, then we either got to learn, she's got to either learn to read or write, or she's got to get a doctor to say that she has a mental incapacity, which makes her unable to read and write. It's not good enough just to say, I didn't learn to read or write, I didn't go to school. Then they're not going to make you a citizen. So we got to reach that age of plus 55 and had a green card over 15 years, or she literally has a mental incapacity. I mean, I don't like to be politically incorrect, but, you know, in the past they would say she's retarded. Nobody likes to use that word anymore, so we say mental incapacity, but that's what basically we're talking about. Red Fraggle has a question. Can a B1 be, and I'm not saying that's your mother, I'm just saying that's what the doctor would have to show, and not only the doctor would have to write a letter, but would have to do a test to figure that one out. Red Fraggle, can a B1, B2 visa holder who got married in the United States file an adjustment of status and then leave and return multiple times while the adjustment is being processed? You cannot leave while an adjustment application is being processed unless you leave with advance parole. If you leave with advance parole, the answer is yes. If you leave before you get advance parole, that automatically denies your adjustment of status application. So, and you are not allowed back in the US because you've shown an intent to get a green card, you won't get a visa again. So then you get stuck outside of the United States. And if you overstayed your time by more than a year, you have a 10-year bar too. So it's an absolute red fraggle. It becomes a huge red fraggle to you, like a huge disaster. Like red fraggle sounds like a disaster to me. Like it's like it becomes a big red fraggle, a big disaster if you leave without advance parole. Once you file the adjustment, you only leave with advance parole, no other way. Honey Carey, what are the fees for USCIS if someone is filing for a parent who's living in Jamaica? What are the forms needed to be completed? What is the total cost? It's a I-130 visa petition. The filing fee is $535, and I think you need a consultation. My telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. Wow, I just lost my place. Leslie Benoit. Hi, Brad. My cousin got married to a United States citizen. He had a previous adjustment pending. The marriage doesn't work out. He filed for VAWA. Can he get divorced and remarried without the approval of VAWA? The answer is you can get divorced, but you can't get remarried until the I-360 gets approved. If you get remarried before the I-360 gets approved, that's the end of your VAWA. But the answer is you can be divorced, but you got to wait for the I-360 to be approved before you get remarried. Now, there's many times when the I-360 gets approved and the I-45 is still pending and you haven't gotten your green card yet, you're free to get married. It's the I-360 VAWA that needs to be approved before you remarry again. Daniel Agbana. Hi, Brad. How long should I wait for my combo card? I filed this January. Well, people who filed in November are still waiting, so I guess you got about another 2-3 months, unfortunately. Halani Arif, I've responded to the RFE 7 months ago. How long do I have to wait? I'm a VAWA applicant. I don't know. I don't know what your RFE was. I don't know what you responded to. So maybe you would need a consultation with me, but I don't know where you are on your case. I'm not sure what the issue was on the RFE and where you are in terms of your status. So I would need to know a lot more. Whale Millie, hey, Brad, can USCIS deny an I-751 if all your paperwork is legal and I came here legally and I'm still with my spouse? I mean, can they accuse you for fraud marriage even if it's not? Yeah, they could do whatever they want. They could, you know, when I was in law school, my first class, first words out of my professor's mouth, and I think I've said this many times, is a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich, which means anybody can accuse you of anything. Okay, so you could be accused of a fraud marriage by immigration. You could be indicted for a crime you didn't commit. That happens all the time. Now, just because they accuse you of this and deny you doesn't mean it's a fraud, and that's why you have a lawyer, and that's why there's judges and everything else. But the answer is, can it happen? Sure. Has it happened in the past? Sure. Have people had to hire lawyers to overcome it? Sure, of course. Hi, Brad. My I-131 was approved yesterday. How long can I wait for my green card appointment? I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. Magic 8 Ball. Jalawalda wants to know. He got an advance parole. I don't know anything about his case. I don't know where he filed, who filed for him, if he even filed correctly. The only thing I know is that he has an advance parole document. I don't even know who his petitioner is. I don't know if he did the affidavit of support right. I don't know what city he lives in. I don't know what category he filed in. But he'd like to know when he's going to get his green card appointment. The day he will get his green card appointment. Magic 8 Ball, when will that day be? The Magic 8 Ball just says it's certain you're going to get a date, but it has no idea when. Just like I said, I don't know when. All right. Becky Hallelujah says, I subscribed and shared Bradshaw Live, and afterwards I got my green card. Thanks to Uncle Brad, his team, #1 law firm in USA. Becky Hallelujah. Thank you very much. JT has a question. If my spouse is on disability and I'm under a VAWA case, I received a new work permit last week. Is my case approved? My spouse is on disability. I'm under a VAWA case. No, it doesn't mean just because you got a work permit does not mean your case got approved. It just means your case is still pending. Back to Facebook. Pradeep Ram. Hi, Uncle Brad. I have a question. Can I petition my family and son, including my parents, to come to U.S.? Okay, and I said he needs a consultation. Barry Ann Walker. Can my cousin's baby father file for her after his divorce, his wife for 7 years after getting citizenship? Can my cousin's baby father file for her after he divorces his wife for 7 years after yes, as long as they remarry. You're allowed to fall in love, fall out of love, and fall back in love. Apparently, he has this U.S. citizen is married to a woman and has a baby with another woman. And he's now a U.S. citizen, and maybe he even got his green card through the wife that he wants to divorce. You're allowed to fall in and out of love. It's perfectly good. Patricia Lusant. Uncle Brad, I have another question. I submitted a FOIA request for my deceased uncle, trying to find copies of adoption certificates for his daughters in Haiti. USCIS sent me everything except the dates requested, which are the dates he filed for his daughters. What are my options? I think your options are to have a consultation with me. Let me look at the FOIA, and a lot of times I can find information out of the FOIA that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. So give us a call at 1-800-529-5465. First Lady Leah wants to know, hi, Brad, how long after receiving a notice of receipt for the I-360 application will you hear from immigration, and what is the next step? It takes at least 18 to 24 months. When adjusting the status of a minor 12 years old, will he be given an interview date, or is the interview not required for minors? Generally, interviews are required for everybody, but they have been waiving some interviews, so hopefully yours will get waived as well. Stargirl Mika has a question. Has any of the squad traveled on advanced parole? Because if it doesn't guarantee you to come back in, why would someone chance it? You don't have to ask the squad that. You're guaranteed to come back on advanced parole, I promise you, Stargirl Mika. If you have advanced parole, you'll come back as long as you stay out of the country for not more than 4 weeks. It's not a chance. You'll come back. I've gotten over my career tens and probably over 10,000 advanced paroles for clients over my career. Nobody's ever not come back. Kate Simon with a question. Hi, Brad. What if my two-person is married, one live in another country, but place understand misrepresentation for fraud, and the spouse is a U.S. citizen and is a citizen? How can she show depression? Would the person have to show they're on medication for? Okay. All right. So basically, there's a marriage, and the person in another country has a misrepresentation. This is Kate Simon's question. I had to put it through Facebook to English translator, and want to know how they can demonstrate depression to help on a 601 waiver. Depression is demonstrated by going to a doctor who says you're depressed and treats you for it. Other than that, you're just saying I'm generally a sad person. That doesn't really work very well. Monica Stone wants to know if she can fly from Jamaica to Canada because I can't go to Canada from the U.S.A. Well, right now, no one from Canada can come into the U.S. and no one from the U.S. can come into Canada through June 21st. So ask me that question after June 21st. How can I go about applying for my parents to come to the USA? Can you give an example for a green card holder and a citizen? Will it be a visit or can they migrate? You could only apply for your parents if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're a green card holder, your parents can apply for a visitor's visa, but it would not be you applying for them. It would be them applying for a visitor's visa. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.